Welcome to Ketchikan, Alaska News. Today we're going to talk with City Council member Sam Bergeron, and I've interviewed him before, but one of the things to note is that I've actually reached out to other council members and none of them called me back. Sam answers his phone, so here we go. So here we are with Sam. We're going to ask him a few questions. First thing, Sam, folks have been asked me recently, what's the update on the port proposal for that were hot and heavy last winter, but we kind of died down when the season died? Is that still an issue?
So that process is moving forward, and so they've weeded out one of the respondents, and so we're down to two of them.
Which two?
Survey Point Holdings and I knew you were going to ask me that. I don't have that.
The other, they're not their sister company.
Yeah, there was one that was from Turkey. That was the one that we decided not to go.
Oh yeah, that was Global Ports Holding.
Right.
I interviewed that guy. Yeah. Okay.
So I've been focused a lot this week and the past week on face masks and trying to bring that issue forward to the public and to have folks seriously consider that.
Yeah, so talk a little bit about your proposal, or at least your introduction of this concept. It's riled a lot of feathers. Obviously, in other parts of the world, it's commonplace to have public policy and public mask wearing. I don't particularly think the debate of the effectiveness is good in this discussion, but talk about it in terms of your role as a public council member, public safety, and so on.
So I wanted to back up a little bit. I don't have exact statistics on how effective masks are, but the places that have had physical distancing, they've had face mask policies. Entire countries, they've been able to testing, and they've been able to take this and really deal with it. They're able to open up their economies and do more things. Right now, today, I think that we're looking at the COVID-19 getting totally out of hand in places like Florida, Texas, Arizona, even in California. So if you recall, before the governor allowed interstate travel from one state to the other, that we had gone 6 weeks without a new COVID case. Now that we've opened up travel to the lower 48 with a bunch of really good and well-intentioned rules, we're finding that the COVID is, proportionally is exploding in Alaska. We have a lot of new cases in Alaska. We have one yesterday. So we live in a small community.
One in Ketchikan.
Yeah, in Ketchikan. Yeah. So we live in a small community, so you hear a lot of things that you don't read in the news.
Right.
So, one of them is a kid gets off the airplane, says Scouts honor going into quarantine, does not go. Goes to multiple social events, exposes a lot of people potentially to COVID. Same thing, a couple of days later, person gets off the airplane in line with some other people, and they happen to be driving by the old Sally's 108 and sees these guys walking right in there right off the airplane. So we as a society need to start doing things that protect us from people who aren't following the rules. Our own COVID rate is going up, and so ideally, if everybody had adhered to the rules and all the things that we're trying to do, I think that rate would be much lower. So as a society, we have to do things that protect all of us. Like my particular instance, I have a brother and a sister that if they get this, they're gone, they're dead. Yeah. They would not survive this. I have a daughter also who is a healthcare provider, an emergency room nurse, and so this really hits home.
How do you respond to the group of people out there that say, hey, I don't want the government telling me to wear a mask, that's my own right to wear that or not wear it?
How do I respond to that?
Yeah.
Fine. You don't want to go to the store, then don't put on a mask. I think that if you go into a public place, like a grocery store, like you go to the hardware store, Walmart, wherever, and you are not able to maintain physical distancing, wear the damn mask. And it's not about you, and it's not about me. It's about everybody's public safety. It's about people who are at risk. It's about our healthcare providers. It's about all of those folks. And I think it's pretty goddamn selfish to say that, I don't like to wear masks and I won't do it because my freedoms. I think that that dog don't hunt. I think it's a ridiculous, selfish argument.
Maybe you could explain in terms of other things we do as government that restrict our personal liberties that we agree to.
Right. Well,
okay.
So
Go ahead. So back to this.
Right.
Talk a little bit more about how what we do as government.
There's a million things that we can talk about: seat belts, driver's licenses, age of before you can drive a car. All of these things are
drinking alcohol, so on.
Right. Well, all of these things are well-meaning and in the public's best interest, and not all of us agree with them. But I can tell you, the science is so clear. And the evidence, the real world evidence is so clear. While the United States COVID rate is getting out of hand, it's about to become a full-fledged disaster. We are all going to wind up, social distancing, being stuck at home, interstate travel could go away, close the bars down, close the restaurants down. That's where we're headed, down south especially.
So it sounds like a mitigation plan in your eyes. It's not just about not spreading, but it's about also keeping the economy going.
Right.
It's a mitigation program to keep things going.
So I think if you really look at this whole thing and you look at yourself as a patriotic American, and then you want to do what's best for America, you wear the goddamn mask.
Okay.
You put the thing on. I flew down from Petersburg yesterday and I had an N95 on, and that thing didn't have the deal with the valve out in front of that. I could hardly breathe through that thing, so I had to switch it out to other things. I hate wearing a mask. I hate it. Yeah. This isn't about Bergeron likes masks and wants everybody else to wear one. It's about the public safety. It's about the public's good. I want our kids to go to school, to a physical school. Right. So how are we going to do that? Especially here in Ketchikan, we have this golden opportunity to do all that we can to make that happen. And wearing a mask is certainly part of that. I want our kids back in school. I want them not to be learning distance learning. It's just not the same. We need to do everything that we can to get everybody back to as much normalcy as we possibly can, and wearing the mask is absolutely part of that.
And how would you see it happening logistically? Would it be enforced with a civil penalty?
I don't know.
Would it be an ordinance that would be?
Physical penalties would be. That's not really what I'm after.
Yeah.
I'm after us that we memorialize that in statute that if you're in a public place, you're inside of a public building, you put on the damn mask. You do that because we don't know if asymptomatic super spreaders are walking around Ketchikan not quarantining, which by the way has happened.
Right.
So what should we do as a community to protect everybody? Everybody, put on the mask.
Okay, thanks, Sam. It sounds like you're fairly clear. Anything else you'd like to add now that I've got you ramped up?
No, it's just that I'm ready for I'm ready to have this out with anybody in any forum. I get a lot of flack on Facebook. I like people to know what I'm up to and what I'm thinking. I have 1,000 Facebook friends. And so when I'm thinking about putting the mask on the agenda, by God, they all know about it.
Right.
And I hear all of the comments from all the different, and I get letters and notes from folks and say, there's going to be a lot of unhappy people.
Yeah.
It's better than a lot of dead people, and it's better than our healthcare system being overwhelmed.
Sure.
A lot of folks that are dead set against the mask, I think, are truly underappreciating the magnitude of what this thing could be here. All you need to do is go to New York City, go to some of the other places that have this outrageous COVID rate. It's because nobody is physically distancing, they're not wearing masks, on and on and on. So, what's really embarrassing as an American and as somebody who travels overseas frequently is that I can't, the European Union is going to open up travel, I think, in like August or September. But Americans can't. And the reason that we can't is because we as a nation have not done enough to stem the flow of COVID in our own nation. We're too much of a danger to other people.
It's an irony in that, isn't it?
I know we can do better than what we're doing, and we're not doing it.
Okay, thanks, Sam.
Thank you.
Well, thanks for watching Ketchikan, Alaska News. This is a little hobby effort of mine here to put out one daily story about Ketchikan and some of the different aspects of living here. If you would like to support the channel, you can subscribe. You have to have a YouTube account. You can like the video. You can share the video. You can also hit the notification bell, and every time I put one out, you'll get a notification. And you can also donate on the opening page of the YouTube channel. There's a little donate button up in the right-hand corner there, and anything is appreciated. Thanks again for watching Ketchikan, Alaska News.